get Baron and they take the bot lane inhibitor, and then they say, oh, we can go for Nexus Towers as Baron falls off, and they get TP behind. It really felt like they weren't taking the steps that you have to take. They got a bit too over-eager to end the game, and they said, oh, we can just win here, instead of saying, okay, we need to take a second. Because when they did take that second, we even talked about it mid-game, like they need to take a breath, they need to take a moment. It worked for them until it didn't.
Absolutely.
You know?
So, I think this is one of the few times in the history of best of threes where the 6 bans stay exactly the same the whole series.
Yeah.
Because no one has switched sides, no one has switched bans, and this is the first tweak we have from Game 2 to Game 3. Tinowns does not prioritize the Talia, instead prioritizes the Azir that he won with in Game 1.
Does Emo stick on the Ahri? I wonder if we'll see a Wukong ban instead of a Nocturne ban as a possibility in second phase.
Yeah.
With Levi's Wukong, but also his Nocturne's very good.
I mean his Nocturne's
a similar threat.
His Nocturne's legendary.
Yeah.
That's, you know, that was his rise to prominence.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Emo played it 3 times in the regular season. 100% win rate.
Hasn't lost with it in
playoffs, yeah, for VCS. He only subbed in for the team coming into playoffs.
So, I don't love it, actually.
But it's an assassin.
It is an assassin.
Therefore, we must love it.
Yes.
You can love it and then explain why it's bad.
Yes.
Agreed?
Yeah.
I love this Akali pick. It's so good, Jatt. I'm so excited. However, I can see it struggling at times. Tell me why.
So Senna, Tahm, Kench, very hard to assassinate against. Secondly, I feel like just watching the first 2 games of the series, GAM does not play side lanes well at all. And you pick Akali, like the only way Akali works in pro is if your side lanes are really good. Because you need to be able to have flank angles in team fights.
Yep.
Usually before the team is in your base and you get to flank because they're in your base.
Okay, so Hexal is what they're hoping for.
Could be.
We'll see. There's the Nocturne ban. Alongside that, a Wukong replacing the Twisted Fate ban we saw in Games 1 and Game 2. Where will GAM go? Do you go for the Twisted Fate? Likely jungle here, leave top for last, obviously, in terms of draft priorities. But do GAM decide that Twisted Fate is important enough for Kiaya?
I mean, I think they should pick jungle here and give the keys to Kiaya to have counter pick.
I agree.
So I like the fact they picked Lee Sin. Even though a lot of things have been banned against Levi, you can still have massive impact on Lee Sin. Champ is strong enough for now.
Yeah, I think the risk for GAM is mid-jungle doesn't have any CC apart from Dragon's Rage when you get to level 6, so you do have a lot of burst damage. You can assassinate someone. Question is, can you lock them down to hit your assassination keys? Croc is going a tank as well, even harder to assassinate. Yeah. Oh my, okay. Louder just said, okay, try and kill us. Good luck.
I mean, they're a little low on damage. I'm not a huge fan of Sejuani Renekton as a duo, but and then also the fact that they have Senna, Tahm, Kench, which takes a little bit longer to get damage, so it's going to be a little bit slow, which is kind of why I don't like the TF. It's exciting, we're getting cheers because it's fun and it's flashy, but like when a team has like no damage, that's when you lock in the stupid stuff like Ornn, right? Because then you get Ornn to scale up later and Zeri can tank. But anyway, they're going all out. GAM is here to play. This is a way that they can maybe find some flanks because you show up behind them as Twisted Fate. It's great. So let's see how Kiaya can play this early laning phase. Loud has gone back to a conservative team composition. GAM, I think, has low front line, high engage, high execution. If they make it through, it'll be worth it.
Yeah, it really will. I will say, I think the low damage from Loud is exacerbated by the fact that this route on Senna hasn't been filling me with so much confidence through these fights. Like, only 2 items last game. There is a strategy where you switch the Tahm Kench to having the support item mid-game, and then the Senna sells it so she can start farming. You can even farm a little bit even with the support item. So I would like to see a little bit more damage coming out from routes in fights. Tinowns having an incredible MSI, having an incredible year. I put a lot of expectation on him to be the key damage dealer here for Loud.
I agree. Tinowns wants to step up in this game. Being back on Azir, I think, is the correct choice. And I wonder what type of, what type of play we see from Loud. I'm actually expecting them to come out really conservatively here.
I think it's game 1 early game.
Game 3, exactly. I think it's game 1 energy here. where they just try not to lose the lanes too badly and then start stacking objectives, because they will be legitimately strong in objective fights once Renekton hits level 6. Just the early pyro of Senna, Tahm, Kench, and the ultimate from Sejuani. So if GAM wins, I think it's very spicy. If Loud wins, I think it's very controlled.
I agree. And GAM exemplifying the playstyle that has made the VCS known internationally. Aggro, aggro, aggro. Get kills, take fights, go for battles. And it can work as well when your team hasn't got as much coordination as a team that's been around, together for a little bit longer, where everyone is just trying to outplay. Everyone's just trying to make, like, if you give someone that can 1v1 win, and a champion that can 1v1 win, you're just trying to hands gap. You're just trying to make those plays. It can work. Not saying it will. We'll see if Loud are able to stifle a little bit early aggression that will come out from GAM. For these two teams, though, it is a rematch from Worlds 2023 in Plains. Loud beat GAM in the first round, lost to PSG, and then met GAM in the qualification series for the best of fives that actually put you into Worlds. And then GAM won the 2-0 at that point. Loud looking for vengeance, GAM looking for the reverse sweep. Is it a best of 3 if you win the first? It's technically a reverse sweep. I'm gonna go with it. Yeah.
I mean, it's actually really cool that we have this bit of organizational rivalry between, you know, Loud and GAM.
Yeah.
The fact that they're now 3-3 in game score against each other as well. How competitive it is.
The third series they've met as well within 8 months, which is really cool. Right? It's developing these rivalries between the regions.
Ooh, bot lane.
Yeah, RedBert trading very aggressively here, losing out on the trade. Obviously, we'll have a little bit more sustain, but Elio gets the root. Won't be able to get too much more. Staggering blows, doing quite a lot of work, but the piercing darkness again. We talked about the sustain that can come out from the Senna in this lane for the Tahm Kench. Level 2 first for the Loud bot lane, but they are playing on the back foot, waiting for EasyLove and Elio to hit that to themselves.
Yeah, got to make sure to, again, they are down a combat summoner, so again, Elio has decided to take Ignite, and RedBert has decided to take Teleport, so there's triple TP for Loud to try and play the map. That could help match the Twisted Fate a little bit later in the game. And it's such a, I guess it's such a strange role that Loud has kind of turned themselves into to win this series, where like, because when Loud was playing against TES, their role was like, we just need to find these opportunities to throw down, you know, take massive risks, and then maybe we'll be able to get advantages that way. And they kind of did. Like, they had some nice dive plays. There was moments where it looked like they had some momentum. But then in this series, they're the ones that are like, take a breath. Let's play slow. Let's be controlled. We're the better team. Let's let the other team make a mistake. It's just funny how League of Legends works like that sometimes, because that's how they have to win the series. That's how they won Game 1. That's how they drafted here in Game 3. And them skipping steps and not taking it slow is kind of why they lost Game 2.
It really was. Croc's going to be able to get this Scuttle Crab. Levi will be aware of it as he walks past. Ping's coming out on Levi as well, as Robo's falling down to half HP, puts a ward in the bush. Reset coming out from Root. He immediately parts up towards that top side, realizes that a dive is on the cards. Croc trying to hover the vision here as well, jumps in, spots Levi. And Levi should be able to escape this. Croc will hold the stun for as long as possible. Kiaya coming in with the ghost as well, but they don't realize that Root is on his way. Emo trying to come into the mid lane. Croc falling low, down to 100. One more order from Levi's enough. Tinowns comes in looking for the cleanup. Tinowns can't quite get Levi down either. Now it's a 3v3 as Tinowns has the flash of wall. Flash forward by Kiaya into the blue card. It's enough. Levi dashes away from Robo, who lands the Ruthless Predator and culls the Meek as he finds one in response. Now he's looking for more. Double buffs on him. Stun card locked by Kiaya. Gold in his eyes as he looks for Robo. Emo can't quite take him. And now Croc rejoins the fray. Kiaya, no flash, no ghost, but should be able to walk away until Tinowns, who TP'd in, meets up with him in the jungle. Kiaya falls. A 2-for-2 in the end as EasyLove just dashes away from RedBert and bot.
Robo playing on the limits there as well. At the end, almost dies. All of these fights are so intense, knowing that the loser of this is completely eliminated from MSI, but like,
RedBert has the flash.
I mean, he's dead.
Flash, Abyssal Voyage now will get him out, though. That was the issue with the early staggering blows. Sonic Wave, not enough to get through the thick skin. Flash forward, Dredge line, and he is still dead. held the voyage for long enough, but he's sent back to the underworld, the anchor weighing him down.
Almost outplays that, but the kill goes over to Zeri. That's bad news for Loud. Watching this again, I mean, the willingness to just keep going by Levi shows that he's been in this moment before. So once the Senna shows up, a lot of times you just back away, because like literally, their whole bot lane is still running back from base. It is a pure 3v4 that they're trying to take on here, but they flash in, end up getting 2 kills, and man, if Levi could have made it to that blast cone, it would have been incredible. This allows them to restart though. They teleport in and end up making a 2-for-2, but like overall, it should still be a big play for them because they got free time on the bot turret in the 2v1. But overall, game's still relatively competitive, 700 gold lead for GAM.
Kiaya farming up well in the top lane as well. 45 CS will have that passive, getting an extra gold win for Merc Treads first on the Twisted Fate here. EasyLove going Cull again. Zerka's alongside Cull with that kill, bolstering his gold a little bit, meaning he can get towards those level 2 boots a bit earlier. Elio roaming around the map. RedBert is down towards bot, doesn't have the TP, must have used that to get back into the lane. So Levi's going to get what I believe are GAM's first grubs of the series, if I recall correctly. I think Loud have been on top of them mostly.
I think you're right.
I might be wrong. It has been a back and forth series with enough action that sometimes we forget these things. But Levi did manage to pick up 1, which allows him that extra treat, that bit of extra experience as well, as Elio's going to help Emo push out mid. Dash back from Emo. And Tinowns just respecting that fact. But it's free time for EasyLove in the bot lane. Like, I really wonder how Loud assigned their lanes to just allow EasyLove so much time with that tower. Gold falling as well as the minions go in.
I think Loud fans are sweating profusely.
I would be.
Yeah. This is not the series or the start to this game that they wanted.
Croc tanks, now Levi's here.
They aggro the turret early, they lose the Sejuani passive, they have to completely back out from the gank. It wouldn't have worked anyway with Levi there, but it just shows that there's just this level of hesitation and minor misplays happening from Loud here. The turret there, the fact that Zeri's gotten so much free time, also a bit of just a weird macro mistake as well, to have EasyLove with the Cull just getting so much free time once again. Even like he hit 6 items in game 2, the draft goes so much the same, they give it back to him again. There's no plan to shut down the Zeri as of this point in the game. And they're down 1,000 gold with no meaningful objectives to show for it. So GAM is just taking all that momentum from the bot lane fight they had in game 2 to now, and they're making it count.
And we often talk about momentum games in a series, right? Winning game 4 of a best of 5, maybe winning game 2 of a best of 3 as well. Swing things in GAM's favor. Have a couple of players very experienced at this level. Kiaya and Levi, obviously. Loud, Robo and Tinowns, the guys you always look to in this sort of situation. Croc as well, been with the organization for a while. GAM will get their first Drake of the game once again. XP lost to the tower in bot as RedBert not there in time to answer. Root, 23 stacks on him. Looks like he's pathing up through mid towards that top side. Might just go straight towards top. A dive on Kiaya, a possibility. No TP for GAM as Emo used his to get back to mid lane.
Yeah, they kind of are feeling like they need to make something happen. There's no flash on Kiaya. He's very fast though. This should be a kill.
Gold card locked. Croc tanking the tower, can do that for a while. There's the stun with the permafrost, and there's the kill. Well played by Loud to get it. The collapse begins though as Levi jumps onto Root. Root's level 4, how'd you get out? Levi takes him. Emo!
Oh! That was a kill if he gets the flash right. He was going to execute with R2.
I understand the name now. I'd be sad after that as well as he face plants into the wall. They'll look for Robo, can't find him. Levi dashes back and Emo can't get close enough. Devour onto EasyLove, but he'll just dash out of that. Lightning crash. RedBert has the thick skin. EasyLove should just look for the plate here, nothing more.
Yeah, another plate for EasyLove. Route took a very wrong turn for that one. Level 4? Jeez, I need... so that's just not something you see him do. There's so much pressure on them right now, I feel like, based on the expectations of what the GAM roster looked like, because they haven't had that many games together, with how well game 1 went, and it does look like the pressure is actually getting to them in a small way here. Again, pretty good dive, and I think he's just thinking that he needs to
parking for
escort.
the wave, right?
He just wants to escort his team out a little bit. But yeah, maybe he just auto path to the wave.
Well, he walks back towards the turret along the safer route, and then I think they're looking at like, oh, if I get close enough to the wave, I get the souls from it. So he wants to go the quicker route to try.
Yeah.
It's difficult to know the machinations of the mind of Root in this sort of situation, but for Loud, I think that apprehension, that hesitancy, coming as well from the fact that you were in the lead in Game 2. You took an inhibitor, you should have won the game, and then everything collapsed from there. It can weigh on your mind that like there's two routes to take, for want of a better word, after a play like that, after a game like that. It's the, we made this mistake, if we just clean that up, we win. Or it's the, oh, everything collapsed, we're frustrated with ourselves, we're angry with ourselves, right?
Yeah.
And at the moment, it feels like Loud are trying a little bit too hard to do things when they can sit back a little bit more and just wait to scale up. Because you have Senna, you have Azir, you know, you are going to be stronger as the game goes on. And GAM are very powerful in this early game. Not that they won't be powerful later on, obviously, with the Zeri, but the Loud composition doesn't execute as well in the early game as the kick comes out. Perfect execution in by Emo. Shurima slide back. Tinowns able to escape. Emo takes the tower. Glacial Prison's going to land onto him. Sonic Wave on the backline though, and it's Levi who finds him. Safeguards to his teammate. Rote had to flash away, and EasyLove is here for another bit of a Barney. He finds another. Robo fighting with Kiana in the top lane. Gold card locked in. Robo still chasing, but you can't catch up with the ghost of Kiaya. And now Robo has to run. Does have the flash. Will look for the stun. Cole the Meek flashes across the wall, but there's a ward in that bush, and Levi's on his way. They might just give the kill over to EasyLove. Levi, EasyLove, in fact, gets it in the end. A huge for GAM.
And GAM is getting further and further ahead in this game. Screw this like team fight, lane setup, weakness that they might have shown in game 1 and 2. They are just getting to the fights before the objectives can be set up by Loud. Rowdy is still level 5.
Yeah.
At 12 minutes on this Senna. Yes, he's getting a lot of souls in these grubs, but you are not going to get in range of turrets when you're down 3,500 gold here if you're Loud. This start to this fight was so sick by Levi going for this kill. Emo does misplay this though. I mean, I think you want to wait a little bit for the R2 or be even faster with it. It does get flashed out, but then like, my God, Levi, what a play to fly back in there and get out. And then to just fly over the wall, get the execute, because he's 3 levels up on his counterpart as AD carry. Really sick. And then Kiaya just spacing Robo so well with the TF. TF's a menace in the 1v1 lane.
And Levi, a name synonymous with the VCS, as we see a TP behind. Counter TP used. It's going to be a 3v2. Abyssal Voyage immediately out by RedBert. He knew he didn't want any piece of that action. He takes the trip away from his mid laner. Tinowns falls 1-3-1 now on the Azir, and everything that was going right for Loud begins collapsing under the pressure that Levi and GAM are putting them on.
And this GAM team looks completely different than they did in game 1.
Oh, 100%.
They are so decisive. They are so aggressive. And I mean, part of it is they're just on more active champions, but they just seem to be playing better in their individual matchups, and that opens up so many opportunities for them to make plays like Kiaya just actually beating Robo straight up in these 1v1s that allows the rest of his team to come collapse in and help him clean up kills.
I mean, GAM, previously Gigabyte Marines, have always been a name that you thought, could they do something? Often a surprise, right? I remember the level 6 Nocturne ulting into Fnatic's bot lane when Fnatic support was level 3, like 2017, 2018 Worlds, I believe. Levi so consistent on this lineup as well, and a lot of this early game has been under his hands. The invade at blue, the fight in mid, he's constantly in the right position, and Croc has been found a little bit wanting. Obviously the Sejuani, a lot harder to have an impact on the map in the early game. Much more about being a tank, having that Glacial Prison for later game team fights, but right now, Loud are really struggling. Their backs are against the ropes, and it feels like one more punch from GAM might be a knockout. Yeah,
especially if that gold goes to EasyLove, because he's so comfy on Zeri right now. He just came off a 6-item Zeri game, and he's back into being massively far ahead.
It's almost a third of the way there already. Dick onto Robo. Levi looking for the chase here. Robo tanky enough. Stride Breaker first item for him. Sonic Wave hits from Levi, but you don't really want to dive the Renekton in this situation. He's used to being underwater as an alligator. Diving him, not always advisable. Dragon up for GAM. If they want the second, Levi will start it. Tinowns getting some gold for Loud back on the map. The 4,000 gold lead for GAM. It will fall a little bit as the turret does fall in top lane, but GAM will get a Drake for it.
This is the most positive thing to happen to Loud this game, actually. They are able to get both the Akali and the Lee Sin ultimates out, and they are able to get gold onto their best player, Tinowns, on Azir right now. Gets first turret gold. Sure, Emo gets it on the other side, but it's not as bonus. And the lethality of GAM with Levi and Emo not having their ultimates is much lower for the next little bit. Yes, they give up one Chemtech Drake. They really do not care about that. It's way more important to make sure they have damage for teamfights later.
The Ocean Soul, not seen as the most powerful soul these days, kind of fallen off since the days of yore, probably when souls were introduced, probably the most powerful. Would help Loud in a protracted team fight, but they're probably going to get burst out before it really has too much effectiveness. GAM could be beneficial for them. I mean, a soul is a soul. It's probably about 3,000 gold's worth of stats just by getting it. So even if it's an Ocean, you still take what you can get,
for sure.
right? Like,
yeah, I think it would, especially against the low damage on Loud, Ocean Soul could do a lot of work. Because like Levi's 3-1-4 on the Lee Sin. Like he's going to be enough of a bruiser that it's actually going to be really hard to kill Lee Sin until you have, I mean, maybe ever, depending on how far behind the Senna stays in this game. If last game is any indication. So GAM is in such a good position right now.
Boot struggling to get stacks as well, only at 49 right now on the Senna. Hasn't got his first completed item. Emo here, surrounded by Croc and Tinowns, but with Elio behind him for a little bit of protection. Kiaya takes the turret, ghost in by Kiaya. Levi coming in as well, the safeguard forward by him. They can chase onto Robo. Robo flashes away from the Destiny, but Kiaya locks the gold card. Dominus, Dawning Shadow, is it enough to keep Robo alive? Kiaya tanks the tower, and Levi tries to get the kill. Beautiful from Robo! Survives the dive and gets one out of it to boot. EasyLove trying to join up with Kiaya to make sure that Tinowns can't chase any further, and he'll do exactly that.
Loud's not out of this one yet. Robo survives another gank.
Yep.
This time actually gets a kill back. He's now a threat in this one. Stridebreaker Renekton, 3-1-1. Still a big, big hill to climb, but he's a small glimmer hope right now for Loud.
And with those short crocodile legs, going to take a while for him to climb. Couldn't hold that one together. I mean, the important thing for GAM is that EasyLove hasn't been involved in these dives. He is superbly fed right now. He's got his Runans complete, so that's 2 items, static Runans, I believe, for the Zeri. Kiaya has a Kraken Slayer, likely going back to build up towards his next item as well. Rapid Fire Cannon will be his choice. So if those two are given time in a fight, alongside the assassination potential of a Lichbane Akali, it becomes even trickier for Loud. With Dragon up in 2 minutes time, Loud start to try and control through this mid lane. They also have to deal with the Rift Herald.
And it's really hard for them to lock on to EasyLove with the cleanse as well in this game. I'd say, though, if Loud can make fast plays, they can still win team fights. So they have enough CC. There's enough squishies on GAM that if they get the right engage, they'll just be able to blow. You know, they take Kiaya and Emo out of the fight right away because Tinowns gets a nice swoop on them. Yeah, they're going to win that fight. So even with this 4,000 gold deficit, which is shrinking, by the way, because they're playing the side lanes quite well right now, actually. They're going to try to fight back.
They definitely are. RedBert currently answering the wave in mid. Croc here to protect him. Tinowns move from mid to bot to catch the wave that Kiaya pushed in. Last Embrace going to catch on Elio. The Abyssal Voyage there as well, but good roam from Robo. EasyLove cleanses immediately from the Glacial Prison. Stun's going to land on Levi, but Robo's forced away. RedBert has to flash as well as EasyLove. Flashing forward, the Devour. It's going to keep Robo alive for the moment. Dawning Shadow coming out as well, but already won over to EasyLove. Croc retreating, and Loud will be able to walk away wounded to the safety of their towers. They lost 1.
EasyLove is so fed.
Yeah.
He just obliterates them when he flashed in there. Yes, he used Flash and Cleanse, so maybe there's a window later for Loud to counter them, but here's the Rift Herald!
Rift Herald charges from behind the turret. The tower will fall soon. Croc hooked up immediately, and he's burst where he stands. And now GAM 10 kills to 4, up a 6,000 gold lead almost. The Drake up in 30 seconds. The timing for GAM sublime.
Yeah, like we said, totally different team than they were in the first game. They're playing so well as a group. That really surprised me that it came out of the jungle.
I was really hoping
angle.
he'd try and charge through the Loud players, because you get a knock-up. You get 1 second CC
exactly.
if you go through them.
Yeah, I mean, the start of this one did look good for Loud, but nice buffer there by Elio to not get CC'd by Croc's Renekton, or sorry, by Robo's Renekton. But then I feel like the slow landing prompted EasyLove to flash in, and then he's just, I mean, he's 2.5 items when nobody on Loud has completed 2. So he's just able to do stuff like that. 5,000, that's so much damage for a fight that early in the
20
game.
minutes in.
Like, there's barely 5,500 health on Loud.
Very impressive from EasyLove. We saw as well before that GAM had spent their gold, had bought their items, had about 10% more combat, or 10 percentage points more combat itemization than Loud had in that fight. Now, Loud have been able to spend a little bit of gold, but still only sitting on 1 item across the board. Robo trying to trade here. He's the only one with 2. The Drake down to 2,000. Levi looking for the smite. Glacial Prison going wide. Smite secured by Croc. They slow the game down. Croc trying to escape. Death charge. Levi dashing in, but a great devour from RedBert keeps Tinowns alive. Croc will be sacrificed. Robo trying to get him from the side here as well, but I really feel Loud are just retreating. RedBert Abyssal Voyage stopped, and that's how you catch a catfish, and that's how you catch Loud out. 2 kills more over GAM as Robo's forced away. A great kick from Levi.
They might be thinking about Baron now, because they do have Kraken Slayer TF Zeri. They're just going straight for it, and that is still a little baby Senna that doesn't seem very likely to be able to stop 5 people at Baron. I hate to say it, but GAM's running away with it.
They really are. 8,000 gold, almost their lead. The Dawning Shadow coming out, but what can you do? Kiaya steps in. Elio flash hook just wide. The Baron down to 2,000 will be secured for GAM. They strike first in the Baron battles of this game. 8,000 gold their lead, 2 Drakes to 1. Objective bounties for Loud, and they're staring down a very long flight home.
They are absolutely shell-shocked after the way they dominated game 1. Sejuani ult whiffs here. They get the steal. Now it is time to run away as fast as possible. They can't get all the way out. Tahm Kench ultimate buys them a lot of space. The Senna move speed's moving them along. But man, Kiaya is so fast with that Ghost and the Rapid Fire Cannon gold card. It baits them in to defend him for a brief second. Big mistake by Tinowns to even be in range of that Q. And all smiles for GAM. They were 1 team fight away from complete elimination in game 2, and now they are 9,000 gold up in game 3.
EasyLove at 3 items now. An easy death for his opponents. Infinity Edge complete. Emo has 2 as well with the Hextech or Rocket Belt. And there's 2 on Levi. Still a struggle for Loud as GAM now for the next 2 minutes have this Red Bull Baron power play. No one apart from Robo has 2 items for Loud. Yeah. Everyone is in a deficit in gold apart from RedBert, who's got 1,000 gold lead. Who gives a damn? He's farming.
Yep.
It is such a hole you have to dig yourself out of, and currently GAM are just throwing Loud shovels.
Yeah, and it's not like Infinity Edge is like a cheap item that he just like cheesed his way to 3. Like, no, he's actually an Infinity Edge ahead of your whole team. That's amazing.
And for GAM, what a sight! Like,
it's just
even coming into the tournament, everyone counted them out. Obviously, they had to switch their roster going into playoffs. The thought was, hey, you can put on a performance, but you're not going to challenge. You're not really going to be able to fight.
I mean, people always say, like, you have to watch out for the VCS. Never count out the VCS. Yeah. That's never been more true than this series.
Yep.
Because there are so many reasons to count them out. Yet they just keep fighting.
A lot of it on the back of Levi. His early game exemplifies why he is, in essence, the face of this region. Why he's been back and forth with GAM since 2017. When you hear the name GAM, you think of Levi. And he continues to impress and he continues to perform, and now names alongside him. Emo having a great game. EasyLove having a really good last couple of games as well. Kiaya, obviously, always in contention. Elio, a little bit quieter, but landing the hooks when it matters.
That one didn't matter. It didn't matter. So it's not important.
At the screen, I just looked up and I see him miss the hook.
No, you're right. Who cares if that lands? Nothing was going to happen.
Exactly. And now for Loud, how do you get back? You're forfeiting your jungle.
Yeah.
You're 11,000 gold behind.
So, I mean, game one, they had Ornn, Lee Sin, Senna, Nautilus. That's a lot of engaged tools and really good scaling. They tried to run back parts of that team comp here in game 3 with the slow, methodical style, but they actually have really bad engage now.
Yeah.
Because the Tahm Kench and the Renekton really suck against Zeri. So they do not actually have any good options. Tinowns has gone death cap because he needs damage, but that also means he can't fly in to engage.
Yeah, no Zhonya's.
Because he just died. So where do they go from here? Home?
Maybe. I'd like to see Root sell his warding item. I'd like to see RedBert buy one. I'd like to see Root start farming. You're at 87 stacks. Stacking is going to be hard from here on out, but you can still get some as a farming Senna. And that's another way of, bolstering your damage a little bit, adding a little bit in. There's a TP ward behind Tinowns and Croc here, all the way in the bush in that top lane. Levi might look for it. Emo's down in the bot lane pushing out. Levi instead just clearing out vision. Baron up in 2 minutes. Drake now spawning. Would only be the third of the game for GAM because, of course, Loud and Croc specifically were able to steal away the last, even if they did lose out that fight.
Yeah, the way back in the game is they do stuff like this. You just kind of randomly wait in bushes. You hope GAM isn't counting players properly. You hope you can get a kill onto, ideally Zeri, but Zeri's never going to go to a side lane alone. So you get Kiaya or Emo down, that'll be 1,000 gold here. Maybe after that you kill a turret, 1,000 gold there. They kind of have to chip away at it because they still do have the Sejuani ultimate, and there's a lot of squishy people on GAM. But if GAM just groups up, even though they don't have good front to back, like they're so much heftier in the wallet that they're going to win the front to back anyway.
You also have a QSS now built on Kiaya, so you catch him, he QSS's. EasyLove has his cleanse. Elio has Locket. Levi, if you're ulting him and trying to kill him off, he's gone for the Knight's Vow third, so he knows his job from here on out. Carry the early game, or at least set up your team in the early game, and now you're a facilitator, you're a kick. Obviously, you can do a little bit of damage alongside that. Emo has the Twilight Shroud to avoid follow-up after a Glacial Prism. Abyssal Voyage forward, Levi dashes across the wall. Kiaya pushing in bot. No deep vision for Loud right now. All denied by GAM. After they saw Loud skip some steps in game 2, they are not doing the same.
Yeah, Loud grouped up here. If the Akali shows and they're in range for some type of engage, they would want to just go. But actually, pretty smart play by GAM right there. Akali shows on the bottom wave, they back up. Right? Again, Akali showing on that bottom wave, look at where GAM is. They're not in a spot where they can get engaged on, so now they're going to generate that push as soon as that wave crashes and Akali moves again. Then GAM can touch the mid wave. That's the classic macro that you actually want to see. The GAM wasn't in positions to play earlier because they never had a side laner who was actually stronger that they were willing to play around in an effective way. So
you see Loud having to respect it. They put the Farsight automation into that bush first in case the Akali's standing there. Then they step away. Their duo in mid has to take a step back so they catch the wave a little bit deeper. Emo can now move up. No one answering bot yet for Loud. That wave's just going to neutralize, and the Baron has been begun for GAM.
All right, Loud, be very cautious with the way they check. You'd love to fight them at this Baron because they're a little bit cornered. That's their chance.
Levi looks for the kick, the hook's gonna land. Emo looking for the flank, they go on to Robo. Croc as well on that front line. Kiaya, Destiny's onto the back route with a good Dawning Shadow, but Robo kick back, gets the Serac shield. Elio has to flash away. Emo dashing through as well as Kiaya is now separated on the back of their fight. Kiaya has the flash just in time to escape a bit of voyage forward by RedBert, unable to get close enough. A good fight so far for Loud, as even though they're unable to kill GAM, they don't lose a man.
Oh man, you take that when you're down 10,000 gold and the other team starts Baron. All of them are recalling now. Does Loud would love to be able to flip this. Azir shreds Baron a little bit.
Yeah, just go.
No, you just flip it.
Yeah.
You just go.
No vision.
No Zeri ultimate as well, no Nautilus ultimate.
TP to the bottom side. Emo has the perfect execution. Kiaya looking for that gold card. No flash on him. Levi coming in from the side as well as Loud begins to back off. Emo dashes in. Emperor's Divide back as Robo still tanking the Baron. They look for Emo, but he's able to escape. Levi comes in for the re-engage. Zeri and Nautilus down towards the bottom side will just get the push out through mid. So what do we get? A TP, a flash. from the side of GAM to stop the Baron from Loud.
Ah, that's tough. Emo goes in. I feel like if Loud just commits to finishing the Baron, they feel like they're going to get aced. I don't know if GAM actually had enough people in position to collapse properly.
There's the risk of Levi just Sonic Wave execution smiting the Baron as well, right?
Yes.
Unless you can CC him. Obviously, at this point, it's like, do we take the 2080 because every other player is a 1090, right?
Exactly. I think you do. I think you try and flip that anyway. It just might not have been there either way. That's still a really good sequence for Loud because it shows that this game is going to be difficult for GAM to close. Baron, not really a priority at this point now. I think it all becomes about the Ocean Soul. That's a less lethal objective for the team that starts it. There's 4 items now on Kiaya, so he's just unstoppable in side lanes. He's so fast, too, as we see in all these fights.
EasyLove's at 4 items as well. 8,000 gold between the AD carries. And I know, I always say, compare the support in the AD carry. Well, RedBert's only 1.8k ahead, so in essence, it's only a 6,000 gold lead, guys. But Rude is the only real second source of damage here for Loud. He's only got an item and a half, so Loud will be struggling. Robo doing a good job of being a facilitator in terms of damage himself as the collapse begins. Robo looks for the flank as well. Sundisk goes down. Emo in the Twilight Shroud. Croc, Glacial Prison just short at Levi there.
Okay, Sejalt down, Tahm Kench down. Almost everything up still for GAM outside of TF ultimate and Akali ultimate. But I think the Zeri ultimate is the most important one, as GAM just repushes this mid lane and then tries to move. This is where actually them not having like a true front line is really hurting them, as you see in these fights.
No one can step up to just tank it a little bit.
Yeah, even the Azir turret was a pretty big threat for them as they were going in here. And they're actually kind of losing the mid prio here.
Again, the range is not the best if TF isn't there to, red card with the rapid fire cannon onto a minion. The Zeri relatively short range. Senna and Azir will outrange her in these fights. Kiaya now joins up. Drake has spawned, would be sold for GAM if they want it. 12,000 gold their lead now as they set up for what could be the final play. The final drop off the Abyss into a team fight. The Baron possibly, well, probably on their minds with the hook just short by Elio. They turn their eyes towards the Baron. No vision on either side for Loud. They have that single control ward. Levi spotted now, though, as he puts control ward in the bush. Croc dashes away, stunned up. There's the dredge line for the follow-up, and Croc is sent passing. Robo now in the middle of the team. It's just deleted. It's a double already for EasyLove, and he's looking to make it more. GAM, although they fell at the first hurdle, have now bounced back. They've jumped up. And Loud cannot do anything about it. 14,000 gold ahead. GAM are looking for Soul and for the Baron.
And to move on past Loud and get a rematch against Fnatic. So, just, again, like, we did not expect this.
Nope.
I think GAM might have expected this. They're always so... they play with such confidence when they're on. And that's the weird thing, because when we saw this team play against, I'd say, Fnatic, and when we saw them play in Game 1, it just didn't look the same. You're like, this is actually too much for them to overcome. There's no way that Levi and Kiaya can sync with these players so quickly to be able to win on the international stage, yet we're seeing it. Like, they're going in as a unit. This is not, like, the cleanest game. Let's be completely honest. But it is an impressive win, nonetheless, if they're able to close this one out. 16,000 gold now, Baron Soul. Let's see if they can finish it.
Especially seeing how disjointed they were against Fnatic, even in Game 1 against Loud, how much they struggled to have these effective team fights. Now, Baron on them for the next 2.5 minutes. They have the Ocean Soul already. Looks like Emo's going to push out bot. Kiaya currently catching the top wave. Does have that Destiny. Remember, not the same range as a teleport, although it can seem like a global. It does have a radius on it, but should be able to get across the map to answer, at least in mid, as he is already level 18, so has that fully upgraded to level 3. Currently, though, stepping back. Doesn't see where Loud are on the map. Doesn't need to push the wave. He's got enough gold. Just like, okay, Loud could be here. I will just take a step back until I see Loud answering, and then I'll step up. And that's when you see a team that's more coordinated, a team that's more aware of who they're playing into, that isn't skipping those steps.
I will say, personally, I hate 1-3-1. I think you should always 4-1. I think it spreads you out too much as a small risk. Like, if Loud can commit to one side now, they know they're going to have a meaningful number advantage, because I think they actually lose 5v4s at this point. So the 4-1 is like almost no risk for them, but they're set up in this 1-3-1. So Loud, you have to pick a spot and you just go fast. Which they're trying. They're trying to get. EasyLove has no cleanse.
EasyLove, no cleanse. Jumps across the wall with the flash, now trying to escape, but he's still got the GA. Elio with the hook, and on the backline, the Devour still coming out. GA's gonna come out from Easy as Tinowns tries to separate the team. Emo jumping in, but EasyLove comes back from the dead, and his Guardian Angel sitting on his shoulders to give him a double kill. Emo will fall as he tries to chase off Tinowns, but what can Loud do to defend? Because GAM are marching to victory.
The Guardian Angel comes in clutch for EasyLove there. 10-0-3. They're gonna do it. They're gonna take down Loud.
Robo's looking for the wave. He escapes with a sliver of HP, but Levi will not let him. In with the Tempest, crippling Loud. EasyLove trying to survive as Tinowns takes him out. The stopwatch just in time, but he can't escape the oncoming hordes of GAM. The Nexus Tower's the target, root up in 5, but he'll be alive just to stand and watch as his Nexus is raised to the ground. GAM go through to the next round.
Even until the last moment, I wasn't completely sure that they were gonna be able to pull it off. But there they are. GAM has eliminated Loud from MSI. Loud devastated about this defeat, losing the last 2 games. The overall org score as well as series score now from GAM versus Loud is 2-1 in the favor of GAM.
And so much credit to GAM. What a performance after that game 1, after the series against Fnatic. I think we all counted them down and out. We all thought it was going to be a 2-0-2-0 day, but GAM had other plans. And once again, they take the series against the CBLOL just like Worlds last year.
Yeah, and also we're going to see a couple rematches tomorrow.
Yeah.
So 2 rematches here, Fnatic versus GAM, and also PSG versus FlyQuest to see who gets to move on to that bracket stage. This new format, I got to say, is devastatingly hard if you're not from a major region. So we'll see if one of these teams